Alright, welcome back. Let's get started. It's the second chapter of Orwell, and we're gonna log into our account and see what happened last time. And that's a great thing about this game, is it actually shows you what happened previously, so you can jump right back into it. So if you had purchased this game about 3 weeks ago, it was being released as a serial, so you would get one chapter each week from the date of its release. I played it when it first came out. It was available as a demo, which is kind of what sucked me in. So the first episode's completely free if you guys want to go check that out. I know it's I got it on Steam. I think the company is called Osmosis. You can go check if they have it on their main webpage or anything like that. But yeah, if you guys have Steam, just check it out. Download it. It's free. So anyways, we're going to get into the second chapter now. So it looks like we're going to be investigating Goldfels. And all we know about him is that he's a member of a group called Thought. And if you recall last time, we had Cassandra Watergate arrested. What's going to happen now, who knows? And checking the National Beholder for news about the world we're living in, and about the bomb that went off. If you guys want to read that, you can go back and pause the video at that point. So right now we're just scanning through information that we might think is, well, that I thought at the time would be useful to look at, and let you guys read through it. And just looking for any thoughts or hints at this Goldfels character. So we got an image, and we have this data chunk about a German folk song, which actually matches the letter that whoever is committing these crimes leaves at the scene of the crime. So that's suspect. And we're gonna take the data chunk about him being an immigrant. That seems to be a big thing nowadays. Fundamentalists from other countries coming in. Okay, so yeah, we got related document as a result of that data chunk. We're gonna have more information to look at in a second. And the listener just went off, but I think I'm going to ignore that and keep looking at the information that we have. So we're learning that the 3 demonstrations were arranged from students from Stellington University, where the last bomb just went off. So that's interesting. And Goldfels was a lecturer at Stellington, so that's also suspect. And I don't know if I take any yellow data chunks here. The information is somewhat conflicting, but I don't think it's relevant to the investigation. I might have done it anyways. Try to slant Goldfell's position in one way or another. At the time of this recording, I hadn't played through the entire game yet because some of them were still being released. So, I had no idea what was going to happen in previous chapters. I just gathered information as I thought was useful to the investigation. So what are we doing now? We're going into the information of Abraham Goldfels. So now we got a first name for Abraham. Just listen to that music. Oh, I guess it's not really, it's kind of just ambient, but it's pretty good. So, the information I'm taking right now is not necessarily relevant to the case. But we want to know as much about Abraham as possible. So I thought it would be important to take all his work information down. So, as Symes has said, we're going to look into the other members of Thought now and see what their involvement is. And if you just noticed, notable alumni from this university include Miss Delacroix, the inventor of the crime bill, and Mr. Joseph Langley, who is Cassandra's boyfriend and lawyer. So I don't know what role that will play, but I thought that was interesting when I noticed that. So we're going to go into the attendee records and look at the students that attended class. Media class, which Abraham Goldfels was the lecturer of, or professor. And, we find two notable names, Juliet Carrington and Harrison O'Donnell, both of which showed up on Cassandra's media blog. So they've now become target persons because they're becoming more suspicious. They might be connected to Thought in some way. And note of advice for people that are playing this chapter: you don't actually have to sit through this chat log because you don't really gain anything out of it. Aside from Joseph Langley just being regretful, nothing else happens in this chat log. So I'm just going through Abraham Goldfels' information since I decided to sit through this. We learned quite a bit about him, but nothing yet to connect him to any act of terrorism. Now we're going to look at Juliet's blog. Take down her photo, her job title. The other stuff isn't particularly useful. Her address, though, her place of residence, that's important. You can skip everything else if you want to. If you guys hear a dog barking, I apologize. It's my neighbors upstairs. I think. So, yeah, Juliet dislikes going out. Do I end up picking this? I can't remember. No. I think I just disable it. If you really wanted to push an investigation of, oh my god, I am picking it. It's flaunting with the idea of screwing with Cassandra. Yeah, okay, so, I wanted to mention something important here. As you're going through this information, if there's a certain achievement, I forget what it's called, but in order to get it, you have to take down all of Juliet's information here, like her favorite color, her favorite pastime, all her favorites. If you take down all her favorites, that'll give you an achievement. So that's something you can, if you're an achievement hunter, you can grab all that, it'll give you the achievement. So we're taking down all the information we can about Juliet. Her media studies at university, her parents, because we might have to investigate them at some point. I think that's everything. Oh, her recent interest in politics. Yeah, I do upload that. Oh, and look at this, the fact that Cassandra and Juliet got to actually know each other at the Freedom Plaza. So that was their first encounter. So now we're going to search through Harrison O'Donnell. But you'll notice there's not a lot of information on O'Donnell here. They say his profession is a media punk, and I call bullshit. And he seems to be deleting all of his posts. That's pretty suspicious, I have to say. And he's easily jealous, but that's not really useful information for us. As the investigator, it does tell us what kind of personality we're dealing with, but I didn't think that would be useful to upload to Orwell. And we found Juliet's number, so we're gonna pick that up too. This way we can listen to her telephone conversations. That's always fun. But apparently we don't have to pick up immediately. We can choose whenever we want to pick up these wiretaps. So that's always, that's good too. And going through some of these wiretaps or some of these phone calls, I can see how bored real investigators must be. Like, no one really wants to sit through a conversation between a mom and her daughter. But it is suspicious that Symes says. Well, you can just read what Symes says. So this target person, Juliet, she apparently hates going out, but she's planning to go out with some friends to an area around Bonton. We're just trying to learn as much as we can about Miss Carrington. I wonder what else. Oh. There's a conflict between these two data chunks, where she ended her band career, and also the one where she's in a relationship with Harrison O'Donnell. Now, it doesn't really matter which one you pick, but I like to not imagine Harrison and Juliet together. And you'll see why once you start to get to know Harrison O'Donnell as a person. Also, once you read more information, like this is a harmless data chunk. This is like a harmless conflicting data chunk. It doesn't really have. There's a very minimal impact on the story, so it doesn't matter which one you choose, really. So we're gonna grab some some information about Harrison's alias as a guitarist and a vocalist, and also Juliet as well. As far as we know, they have some sort of relation. I mean, it's obvious at one point they were bandmates. Those red lines at the top of those articles in Thought are kind of weird. I think I'll go back to that later, but I want to grab everything I can from this band website. So Harrison decided to quit the band. To be honest, that doesn't really. There's no furthering the plot that way, but this is interesting. The idea that Juliet organized an event for her band, and if I do end up going back there, you'll see exactly what that's about. And I'm not going to play that demo. If you guys want to, you can buy the game and you can listen to that demo. But we are going to take the email address. So now we have access to Harrison's emails. Okay, and this is Cassandra's lawyers. Cassandra's lawyer is using her account, but we know that they're in a relationship, so no big deal. You could make the situation awkward and creepy if you provide Orwell no information about Cassandra and Joseph's relationship. Then when you get to this point, it seems kind of suspect that he's using her account. But I don't think it has a significant impact on the story. It just might change some of the dialogue in this episode. So as they're talking, oh, don't take that data chunk, because right now that information would go to Cassandra's profile, so it's not accurate. You know it's Joseph Langley using her account, so you'd be changing Cassandra's occupation to a lawyer and giving faulty information to Orwell. You can do it for fun, but if you're looking for accuracy, yeah, don't pick that up. And as Juliet and Joseph are babbling about, going through the profile of Cassandra Watergate and trying to look at her connections, we know that she's connected to Harrison O'Donnell and Juliet Carrington. She's connected to Abraham Goldfels. Oh, here's a conflict. What's her name? That Juliet planned or organized something at the Freedom Plaza. And the idea that Harrison O'Donnell did the same thing. So who can we believe? And if you look at the person who wrote this, you see that it's Catharsis or whatever Cassie's alias name is. So it's clear from that post that it was Juliet that organized the event, if you're looking for hints. Aside from that, it's unlikely that, well, there's no reason to believe that Harrison was the one that organized that event, because you're just taking Juliet's word on it. And so the Thought webpage looks all messed up. That's... who knows what's going on there. So we're going through Harrison's emails now, looking for something suspicious. We're uploading his bank account information. That's important. And now Juliet and Harrison are having conversation with each other, so maybe we'll learn something from this conversation. We still don't know too much about Harrison yet. So it's clear that the thought page has been hacked. And according to Juliet, Harrison's no longer a member of Thought, so that kind of whittles down the reason to believe that he has any involvement in any of this. It seems that Juliet is the more important member of Thought right now. He's not fully out of the water yet, though. Especially since he deleted all of his posts to secure his job, apparently. Apparently he works for the National Beholder. Wonder how he ended up getting that job. According to O'Donnell, Abraham Goldfels has been inactive in Thought. But then, who was responsible for the 2 bombings? So, we don't have any reason to believe that he's really inactive. He could be acting on his own. In fact, any of these 3 members could be acting on their own as far as we know. And if you read this this email, this guy Initiate seems to be blackmailing Harrison O'Donnell. That's also pretty suspect. Apparently Harrison has a blog where he gives his authentic opinions. So take that down. And that's well, let's see where I end up going, because this isn't live anymore. So we're gonna check his bank account. You'll notice he has 2 health insurances. Payment from the National Beholder, which of course he works there. And he buys a lot of different medication, so that's interesting. Not much else just yet. That National Beholder article, the one that says shut the Parisian border. Yeah, so it was written by Harrison O'Donnell. And in that, he takes the pro-government position. And he also predicted the He also predicted a bombing, which is kind of suspicious. Gonna check Juliet's timeline. Apparently she organized a peaceful protest at Stellington. That's also suspicious. So let's check Hancock's personal blog and see what his authentic opinions are. So he sounds like a dangerous nutter. But we're going to assume, since Carrington wrote this blog, I think it's pretty obvious that she was the one that organized at least 2 of these protests. The one at Stellington campus and the one at the Freedom Plaza. Whereas Harrison is more of just a talker based on what we've seen so far. And Harrison lives in a trailer, so he's a very anti-government type of guy, I guess. And as you can see, in his authentic thoughts, he's very aggressively anti-government, so anything you read on the National Beholder that Harrison writes, he's full of crap. Like, he's just trying to cover his position and keep his cozy job writing for that newspaper. You saw how much he makes. He makes at least $3,000 like a week or whatever. I'd have to go back and check. But he makes a comfortable amount of money. So Goldfell's invited Harrison to Thought, as far as we can see. Let's see what else we can find. I should have disabled both of these, but I think I might have just chosen one for the heck of it. And I took the one that makes Abraham look more aggressive. Not very ethical of me, I gotta say. So let's look at Abraham's little debate club. Apparently Harrison is inviting a someone into Thought named Nina. So now we have the ability to investigate her if we need to. And there's Initiate screwing with Harrison, and there's a security warning because we just illegally accessed Harrison's bank account information. It's okay though, we're covered by the crime bill. So we're gonna take Nina's, is that like a util account or something? I don't know. We're taking her alias information. This is an article that Harrison covered up. Apparently he declared Thought to be a revolutionary activist group. Am I gonna take that information though? No. Because again, it's just Harrison talking out of his ass. Oh, but here's information about organizing an event. So, Harrison wants to storm a government building, and this concerned one, Nina, she wants to storm, I believe, a mall. So we're gonna try to figure out so this Nina messed up organizing something for Thought. And we know that Harrison is a bit of a talker. So I'm gonna go with Nina being the one that actually planned the event. Not just based on their personality, but based on, we don't know much about this concerned one, but she seems very anti-government, and she seems like a person of action based on what I've read so far. So now Symes and Cassandra are in the middle of an interrogation by phone. So we're just gonna listen into their conversation and see if we can get something out of Cassandra about the location of this next attack. We want to see if we can prevent another bombing, so. And it's true we don't have any information tying Cassandra exactly to a bombing, but we should be able to pressure a confession out of her, so let's see if we can do that based on the information that we have. Oh, what am I talking? Pressure? I mean like we should be able to squeeze some information out of her. If she knows anything. And I regret not changing this photo of Cassandra, because I like the other one better, but minor things. And Cassandra does not give a fuck. She's pretty authentic with her feelings, as you can tell. Well, you're the only lead we have, Cassandra. I couldn't do this to anyone else. Alright, so we have something. We have some information. Trying to click on it. The text is moving too fast for my mouse. Okay. Well, that's terrible. So Cassandra's information, even though she's innocent, will be permanently in Orwell. And that goes for every single person's information that we've thrown in there. So now we're just gonna cross our fingers and hope for the best. We evacuated the mall and now we're just gonna wait now. And what's this? So Juliet's getting a phone call right now. And Juliet's still at work, from what she says. Great. Alright, so, perfect. We did the right thing. We got the right information out of Cassandra, and we avoided a third bombing. So you can read up on that if you want by pausing the video. But I think we're done. With this part of the case, at least. I don't think there's anything else left. So I'm just going through the news articles to make sure. So this is our summary of everything we've discovered so far. So, you know, you can read about Harrison, Abraham, and Juliet, and Nina. Nina is looking very suspect right now. Abraham has always looked suspect. Harrison seems like a crazy type of guy. Seems like he could be an activist. Juliet's very quiet. She's working as a PR assistant. Anyway, so that's the end of Chapter 2 of Orwell. I hope to see you guys again in Chapter 3, and I hope you enjoy it. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching, and take care. Bye-bye.